Hey, how is everybody doing today? Welcome back to the channel. As you guys know, our Minnesota Vikings are taking on the Cincinnati Bengals next Sunday in Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati. And I think the number one reason why the Minnesota Vikings will come out of there with a victory is because that defensive line is going to be living in Joe Burrow's backfield and in Joe Burrow's pocket all day long. Anyways, happy Memorial Day. Hopefully this is coming to you on that Monday. Enjoy the long weekend. If you guys are watching this on a Monday, this Sunday was the last Sunday for a while without Minnesota Vikings football. So I cannot wait. We got the Vikings jersey on today. Obviously, this is number 1 for Stephon Diggs. No hard feelings. We're starting our own season. Bills are starting their own season. That's all new. We got these two on the wall right here, Moss and Jefferson. Anyways, I'm going to be talking about the Minnesota Vikings defensive line, and I think they should pretty much, I don't want to set the expectations too high, but they should and they will dominate Joe Burrow, dominate the Cincinnati Bengals offensive line, and that's what we're going to get into right away in this video. First off, thank you guys so much for the support on the channel. I'm so excited for the season to get going, but let's talk about it, because I think the comeback player of the year might be on our team and not on the Cincinnati Bengals, as you guys see by the thumbnail. Let's talk about it. So, comeback player of the year. It's a pretty big award in the NFL, and I feel like one guy's name has not really been thrown around in the conversation, and that's our Danielle Hunter. Danielle Hunter, I'm honestly shocked. I'm shocked I haven't really picked up on this early on in the year than I did, but I put the thumbnail, I said comeback player of the year, because I think some people are thinking, Dak Prescott, Joe Burrow, Saquon Barkley. No, I think week 1, Danielle Hunter is going to make it pretty certain that his name better be thrown in the defensive player of the year, the comeback player of the year, every single category for the rest of the year, because he has been the one person whose name has been just swept under the rug this entire offseason. And I think a lot of that is just the media. I think the media has kind of thrown Danielle Hunter away. He is the first player to 50 sacks in an NFL season. And yes, last year, he didn't play at all last year. He didn't play a single snap for the Minnesota Vikings. He was dealing with the neck thing. It's just a tweak. We have heard this whole story. But I think the media, and even sometimes I forget, it was how damn good Danielle Hunter was up to the years before that. I think Danielle Hunter, he should dominate the Cincinnati Bengals team. There's not a tackle, there's not a guard, there's no offensive lineman that can stick him one-on-one. And if this was the Minnesota Vikings defensive line from last year and we only added Danielle Hunter, yeah, I would say it would be pretty hard for him to still get his one-on-one matchups. But Danielle Hunter is going to be sitting one-on-one outside with a tackle on every single passing down unless they have to chip him. And then if they want to chip him, they'll restrict their offense a little more. But I think Danielle Hunter, because of the additions of Michael Pierce and Dalvin Tomlinson on the inside, the big boys on the inside, they're going to be, you have to at least chip Michael Pierce. If you leave your center or your guard one-on-one with Michael Pierce, it's going to be a long day for that guard or center. If you leave him one-on-one with Dalvin Tomlinson, it's going to be a long day for your guard or center, especially with the Cincinnati Bengals. They have a ton of pressure on this offensive line already. I don't think the Bengals GM, I'm sure he thought about it, but when he was drafting Jamar Chase, you did not only put pressure on Jamar Chase to be really, really solid, but you also put pressure on that offensive line to be really good this year. And it's not even their fault. It's just because they'll always be thinking, if Joe Burrow gets sacked 7 times in week 1, which he will, the whole talk of Cincinnati sports radio and Cincinnati sports news will be, why the hell did we draft Jamar Chase? And that's what it's going to be. That's going to be the headline on Monday. And I don't even want the headline to be on the Minnesota Vikings. I want the headline to be, damn, the Bengals should have drafted Penei Sewell, Rashawn Slater. They should have went O-line, because Joe Burrow's going to get his ass kicked this entire season. So the number one reason why the Vikings are going to win this game is because of Danielle Hunter, is because of Michael Pierce, is because of Dalvin Tomlinson. And I could get into it. I think the Vikings offense will have a very solid game. I think Eric Kendricks will have a very good game. Of course, we know what Harrison Smith's going to do. I actually think our corners will match up pretty well with their wide receivers. You know what they're all about. But let's talk about that Minnesota Vikings defensive line. Let's talk about Danielle Hunter, because Danielle Hunter, we forget, whenever everybody's talking about top edges in the NFL, it's the TJ Watts, it's the Nick Bosa's, it's the Joey Bosa's, it's the Khalil Mack's, it's the Aaron Donald's more from the inside. Danielle Hunter's name does not get thrown around anymore. You don't hear Danielle Hunter's name in the depot conversation. I think he sets that tone. I think the tone will be Danielle Hunter, 2.5, 3.5 sacks week 1. Michael Pierce dominant in the run game. Because the Bengals, yes, I understand Joe Burrow, he's super comfortable in 5 wide. He ran it at LSU. He likes seeing the whole field. He likes not having anybody back there with him, even though it could help him for blocking. But that's just where he is more explosive, is when he's in 5 wide, because there's certain checkdowns, there's certain reads that just make it easier, especially for a young quarterback, and especially from a quarterback that's going to be coming off a serious leg injury. So I expect them to be in 5 wide a lot, and that means the Vikings, if they rush 4, one of those guys, or I guess 3 of the 4 guys will get one-on-ones, and if one of those guys is Danielle Hunter, you better watch out. And also Everson Griffin being back. Everson, I don't expect him to get a ton of reps in the game, but I expect him to have a lot of important reps. I think this could be a chance where Everson Griffin, on a couple third downs, he could get in there and get a half a sack and get a sack. You know, he's still got incredible moves when he's coming off the line of scrimmage. It is a tough guard for a tackle to go up against an experienced D-end, especially in week 1. I really feel bad for this Bengals offensive line. I think this is a terrible matchup for them. I think this whole game is honestly a terrible matchup for the Cincinnati Bengals. This Minnesota Vikings defensive line, they set the tone for the year right now. That's the number one thing when I was thinking about what could the Vikings do to win. What will the Vikings do to win? The Vikings are going to dominate the trenches. It's going to flip it on its script, because kind of the last important game us Vikings fans watched was the Alvin Kamara 6 touchdowns on Christmas Day. You know Mike Zimmer, that's been living in the back of his head this entire offseason. He wants to flip that script because this defense has been laughed at. It's been spit up, chewed out, and booed off stage, the whole Eminem line. It's time to have the revenge season. It's time for number 99 to get going. It's time for Michael Pierce to show people who he is and make him a household name. Because even when I'm sure you guys are talking to your friends who are other sports teams fans, you guys are saying like, oh yeah, the Vikings got this guy, Dalvin Tomlinson. Vikings got this guy, Michael Pierce. Oh yeah, Danielle Hunter's coming back. And yeah, you guys, your friends are probably brushing it off like they're just regular dudes. They're not just regular dudes. They set the tone week 1. Biggest reason the Minnesota Vikings will win this game, because they're going to live in Joe Burrow's pocket, live in his backfield the entire afternoon, and I am so excited. Minnesota Vikings, Cincinnati Bengals content coming to you guys all week. Vikings should be ready for a big game week 1, and I'm super excited, and I'm sure you guys are too. So leave a like on the video, comment down below, subscribe to the channel. I think that's going to be the biggest storyline of the game. Bengals should have drafted a tackle, and yeah, watch out for that 99 guy, because he's back. I think that's going to be the headline. Let me know what you guys think down below. See you guys next time. Skol Vikes videos coming all week. We are full time doing this. Cannot wait to get after it. See you guys soon.